Good afternoon, it is Thursday. I'm back with Squirtle. It's a beautiful day here. I've been on call since 9 o'clock this morning, so I am virtually hoarse. But we are back with the adventures of the Wishing Chair. It's Thursday, like I've said, beautiful day. So we've elected to do this outside rather than our normal little house. So yesterday's chapter, all the chapters up till now have been chapters kind of on their own, a whole story within one chapter, but yesterday's one was like a two-parter, first part of a two-parter. So they've lost their cat. Can't remember the name of the cat, it'll come back to me in a minute, but they've lost their cat, and the cat has been taken by a witch called Witch Kiri Kiri. So they've got to go and rescue their cat. So we're off to the land of wherever this witch lives. So if you take over there, it's quite a short chapter, this one, so we will see how they get their cat back. So, the Witch Kiri Kiri. The children dressed themselves again after they'd been to bed and slept. Molly had a little alarm clock and she set it for 11:45, so they awoke in good time for their adventure. Chinky was waiting for them. "We can't go in the wishing chair," he said. "It hasn't grown its wings again. I think it's asleep because it gave a tiny snore just now." "How funny," said Molly. "Oh, Chinky, I do feel excited." "Come on," said the pixie. "There's no time to lose if we want to catch the underground train." He led the children to a big tree at the bottom of the garden. He twisted a piece of the bark and a door slid open. There was a narrow stairway in the tree going downwards. Molly and Peter were so surprised to see it. "Go down the stairs," Chinky said to them. "I'll just shut the door behind us." They climbed down and came to a small passage. Chinky joined them and they went along it until they came to a big turnstile where a solemn grey rabbit sat holding a bunch of tickets. "We want tickets for Witch Kiri Kiris," said Chinky. The rabbit gave them 3 yellow tickets and let them through the turnstile. There was a little platform beyond with a railway line running by it. Almost at once a train appeared out of the darkness. Its lamps gleamed like 2 eyes. There were no carriages, just open trucks with cushions in. The train was very crowded, and the children and Chinky found it difficult to get seats. Gnomes, brownies, rabbits, moles, elves and hedgehogs sat in the trucks, chattering and laughing, and the 2 hedgehogs had a truck to themselves, for they were so prickly that no one wanted to sit by them. The train set off with much clattering. It stopped at station after station, and at last came to one labelled Kiri Kiri Station. Chinky and the children got out.
Sorry to bump in there.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you know where number 6 is?
Yeah, it's the one with the kind of like the gates.
Is that the gate?
The
is it?
gate,
Thanks very
yeah.
much. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, no worries. Sorry about that, everybody. a delivery man. So let's repeat that last bit. The train set off with much clattering. It stopped at station after station and at last came to one labelled Kiri Kiri Station. Chinky and the children got out. "Kiri Kiri is such a rich and powerful witch that she has a station of her own," exclaimed Chinky. "Now listen, this is my plan, children. It's no use us asking the witch for Whiskers, our cat. She just won't let us have her. And it's no use trying to get her by magic, because the witch's magic is much stronger than mine. We must get her by a trick." "What trick?" asked the children. "We'll creep into her little garden," said Chinky, "and we'll make scrapey noises on the wall like mice. We'll squeak like mice too, and the witch will hear us and send Whiskers out to catch the mice. Then we'll get her, run back to the station and catch the next train home." "What a fine plan," said Peter. "It's so simple too, it can't go wrong." I'm not so sure about that. "Shh," said Chinky, pointing to a large house in the distance. "That's Kiri Kiri's house." They'd left the station behind them and had come up into the open air again. The moonlight was bright enough to show them the road, and they could see everything was very clearly indeed. They slipped inside the witch's wicket gate. "You go to that end of the house and I'll go to the other," said Chinky. So Peter and Molly crept to one end and began to scratch against the wall with bits of stick, whilst Chinky did the same the other end. Then they squeaked as high as they could, exactly like mice. They heard a window being thrown up and saw the witch's head outlined against the lamplight. "Mice again," she grumbled. "Hey, Whiskers, come here. Catch them, catch them." Whiskers jumped down into the garden. The witch slammed down the window and drew the blind. Molly made a dash for the big black cat and lifted her into her arms. Whiskers purred 19 to the dozen and rubbed her soft head against Molly's hand. Chinky and Peter came up in delight. The plan worked beautifully, said Peter. Come on, let's go to the station. And then a most unfortunate thing happened. Peter fell over a bush and came down with a loud clatter on the path. At once the window flew up again and Kiri Kiri looked out. She shouted a very magic word and slammed the window down again. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, groaned Chinky at once. What's the matter? Asked Molly, scared. She's put a spell round the garden, said the pixie. We can't get out. She'll find us here in the morning. Can't get out, said Peter, going to the gate. What nonsense, I'm going anyway. But although he opened the gate, he couldn't walk out. It was as if there was an invisible wall all round the garden. The children couldn't get out anywhere. They forced their way through the hedge, but still the invisible wall seemed to be just beyond, and there was no way of getting out at all. Whatever shall we do? Asked Molly. We can't do anything, said Chinky gloomily. Peter was an awfully silly to go and fall over like that, just when we'd done everything so well. I'm terribly sorry, said poor Peter. I do wish I hadn't. I didn't mean to. Well, we'd better go and sit down in the porch, said Chinky, who was shivering. It's warmer there. They sat huddled together in the porch, and Molly took Whiskers on her knee, saying that she would make a nice hot water bottle. They were nodding off to sleep, for they were all very tired, when Whiskers suddenly began to snarl and spit. The children and Chinky woke up in a fright. They saw something flying round the garden like a big blackbird. Molly stared, and then she leapt up and whispered as loudly as she dared, It isn't a bird, it's the dear old wishing chair. It's come to find us. Chinky gave a chuckle of delight. He ran to the chair and took hold of it. Come on, he said to the others. The only way out of this bewitched garden is by flying up and up. We can't get out any other way. The wishing chair is just what we want. They all got into the chair, and Whiskers was on Molly's knee. The chair flapped its wings, rose up into the air, and flew almost to the clouds. What will old Kiri Kiri say in the morning when she finds no one in her garden, not even Whiskers? Giggled Chinky. She'll think she's been dreaming. I wish I could see her face. The chair flew to the playroom. The children said goodnight to Chinky, and with Whiskers in her arms, Molly ran with Peter up the path to their house. They were soon in bed and asleep. As for Whiskers, you may be sure she never went to sleep in that wishing chair again. Cool, that's all resolved then. And tomorrow we are at the disappearing island. So, well done everybody. Oh, you've got a nasty scratch on your leg. I've put some Savlon on that. Right, okay.
Yeah, Mummy scratched me yesterday.
Who did?
Mummy.
Millie. Mummy?
Yeah.
Mummy did?
Well, not like on purpose, just she drops the thing,
Oh dear.
phone,
right. Okay.
phone holder.
Oh gosh, right, okay. Oh no, it is really scratchy. She's got that kind of stuff on the back of it, hasn't she? Right, okay. Right, okay. Well, happy Thursday, everyone. Enjoy the sun, be safe. We will be back tomorrow for whatever that next chapter was called again, The Disappearing Island. And then McSquirtle here will be back with me on Saturday and Sunday for picture books. We've already picked out one we're having Saturday, is all of the Ladybird Herd stories, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Maybe we could have the Crayons Christmas.
Okay. Do you want all the Ladybird Herds and Crayons Christmas? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
Well,
busy.
the Crayons Christmas is the one where it's got stuff inside and a tiny bit of, at the end of it is a pop-up.
Yeah. Oh yes, it is, isn't it? Yeah. No, it's good. It's kind of a little bit. If anybody's ever seen.
And it's sometimes in envelopes. It's got stuff inside.
Yeah, there's been a few books, but there was a kind of a set of books by Janet and Alan Alberg called The Jolly Postman. The Jolly Postman. Can you remember those? Jolly Postman and Jolly Christmas Postman and Jolly Pocket Postman, where it's each page is an envelope, and you open up the envelope, and you've got a Peppa Pig book as well, haven't you?
Really?
You've got a Peppa Pig one with lots of envelopes. When Peppa's inviting all of her friends to a party.
I had no idea.
Did I entirely dream that? Maybe I did. I thought you had a Peppa Pig book where each page is an envelope, and it's all of the invites about coming to a party.
Maybe I could. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, this book is a bit like that, the Crayons Christmas. So each, if you remember the previous Crayons books, it's where all the crayons have been moaning about the fact that he uses some, doesn't use others, some he's not doing well with and whatever. So it's all of their Christmas stories. Anyway, we'll see that on Saturday along with all the Ladybird Herd stories. But for now, we will say TTFN and we'll see you back with Wishing Chair tomorrow. Okay, you can do a wave as well. And a TTFN from me. Bye.